a couple of more days because of that ultimate symbol of dirt, filth, and disorder, the subway. That is pretty funny. I mean, that's pretty poetic. Because I noticed people didn't laugh enough for me to say it was funny, so I said, it is poetic. But wasn't it great how slow I was? And I sounded like I really had control of my language. I felt very good about that, so I was a little out of the moment. That didn't help either, but I was just like, wow, all the nonsense I've heard this past year, this is the anniversary, as you know, of people saying he stutters, he doesn't speak, he talks too fast. You know, it all went by the wayside in that little sentence. Now, I was watching the news, Pat Robertson was on, talking about Andy Rooney's comments about Jesus, and Pat goes, you don't talk like that about the Almighty and get away with it. I felt good, because that's the God I remember. The God that was forgiving on some things, but when you crossed him, it was on, you know? Then I switch around. Here's Pat Buchanan talking about the Passion of Christ with Jonathan Foreman, a film critic, Evander Holyfield, Kurt Warner, the Rams quarterback, and John Smoltz, the pitcher from the Braves. You know, I don't know if it was a reality show. I'm not sure what it was, but well, what do they think? They can put on a show with a bunch of people that don't know what they're talking? I mean, we do it, but still, I don't think, still no. But my favorite story, I saw in the news in Florida, Beyonce's road crew stopped a carjacking. How do you think that guy feels? You know, he's carjacking, something on the ground, and Beyonce's kicking you with one of her blonics, you know? Hey, Liz, they do with blonics. What do you think? And I think she's still with Jay-Z, because the guy said when they grab him, they go, that's the anthem, get your damn hands up. No? All right, you know the other guy's in prison are going to bust this guy's chops the whole time he's there. Yo, man, I heard you got knocked out by Destiny's Child. Yo, what do you say when they grab you? Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Well, we really got sued. I had to say it, and it bombed.
It didn't matter how you did it.
Shut your trap. You really think you think you're proprietary over all music, you people, don't you?
Yep. Yes, we are.
Tonight is the one-year anniversary of Tough Crowd, so we've invited 4 of our regulars. Only one guy's missing, Lonely Patrice, and he's going to pretend he doesn't care, and tonight he's going to be watching this show at home by himself with a little tear like the little boy that he was back in Boston by himself.
Yo, the 4th.
Hi, Patrice.
Chicken.
Happy anniversary, guys. I hope you don't mind. I picked some clips on the shows to show what each of you does that has really bugged me for a year. Greg, the thing that you do that bugs me sometimes is you can be very long-winded, and sometimes you're in the middle of some long joke, and I have to keep the hounds at bay while you finish a 20-minute diatribe for your punchline. Roll the clip, please.
You know what, we're talking about this new anti-Semitism, right? Because that's this new wave, apparently, of anti-Semitism that they're talking about. Now there's apparently these attacks in Brooklyn, and that's where it just seems a little crazy. Because there's not, like, especially in America. Look, I live on the Upper West Side of New York City. It's hard to, you know, the only Jewish suffering I've ever seen is that there's, like, a long, you know, wait at brunch at Barney Green. But they don't know where he was going. Yeah, you're right. I didn't have a punchline all set up myself, Susie. Thank you for punching it up. And they say the Jews are pushy. Look.
And you kept going. We had to cut it. Now, I know that was not the crystal clear example of it, but what do you expect from the show? Now, listen, Norton, you're next. Norton, what bugs me and bugs everybody here, I'm sure, is your fake intellectual gestures. And it's not even, you're talking about idiocy, but you got your hand like this, and it's like, where do you get that idea of intelligence from? 40s movies? Why don't you get a monocle and stroke your chin, stupid? You're a dullard. Ready? Roll the clip.
I'm talking about fat people are now fighting because they want the American Disabilities Act to apply to them, and it's sickening. You're not disabled if you're fat. You know who's disabled? Whoever is stuck sitting next to you on a plane. That's who's disabled.
A long way to go. Now, what about Norton? Let's talk about the fact that he gets an English accent and crosses his legs when he's trying to be intelligent.
That wasn't an English accent.
Not that time, but...
Why don't you show an example to the people instead of accusing me?
I want Keith to tell them an example.
I'm going to tell you what bugs me about this jackass. That every one of his setups start with liberal, and it ends with disease. It's like, no matter what the question, what about the Harlem Globetrotters? Goddamn liberals! Monkeypox! What the hell?
First of all,
let them laugh, stupid!
I never commented on the Harlem Globetrotters, you idiot.
It's like school to me. This whole thing is like school. Like Greg Giraldo, he's the
First
smart
of all,
guy.
how would you know what school is like?
Yes.
How would you
Your
know?
people don't have the best attendance record, let's be honest. Huh?
Wait a minute. Neither do the Italians. You're right there with us.
We'll be talking about Joe Paterno, Rudy Giuliani.
Who?
Rudy Giuliani. It's contagious. Globetrotters, look out.
All right, let's move on to Keith. What do you think? Keith, a lot of us complain about your overacting when you're doing a joke, but that doesn't even bother me as much as I realized studying you this week. It's the gestures don't even match the emotions. So an overactor would be somebody who's angry and they go, ugh. But yet you take it even a step further. It can't be called acting because you'll actually be sad when you're angry, and then like when you try to be quiet, you'll start gesturing your arms. It makes the audience baffled and horrified. Roll the clip, please.
Shoshana Johnson was the talk of the week for a half hour. They were like, we're going to save Shoshana Johnson. Then about a minute later, it's like, beat it, black bitch. Jessica's missing.
Now, were you angry or happy? Nobody knows. How can anyone tell you? Flailing your arms wildly.
First of all, it was
like a
about
bizarre
Shoshana Johnson,
psychopath.
how that she got a little bit of media attention. I mean, she got a lot of media attention until the white girl showed up. Once the...
It's like watching a Tybo tape.
All right, we'll be right back after this commercial for Nick DiPaolo.